Super
But then on
good.
top of it, like, we know you guys are a bunch of liquor heads. I don't know. Is that what oh, no, alcoholics.
Welcome once again to Chill Filter, the podcast where we drink whiskey so you don't have to, but you probably should, and you probably are, and that's why we like you. This week on Chill Filtered, episode 204, I believe, we are drinking two samples from the same distillery from two of our listeners. We'll get to who those listeners are in a little bit, but wanted to just say, wait, to support us. Yep, like we mentioned last week, hit us up on Instagram. We love hearing from you guys, especially if you haven't reached out before. It's an honor to hear that random people are listening to us.
You need to do it.
If you reach out, we'll
What's
just be
wrong
like,
with
wow,
you?
we
You
have
thought about it,
had an impression on
but
this
you
person,
haven't.
whether it be good or bad, and we are grateful
Disgusted
to
by
be
you
in
not
their
reaching
life
out.
and have an influence in
This is
some
horrible.
strange way.
If you don't reach out, you're a horrible person.
No, reach out.
No,
Steve
friggin'
and
nailed
Steve.
the good cop, bad cop, though, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I was the good
Ow.
cop, and you were the bad cop.
Oh, I thought I was being the good cop.
Oh, really? What was
My
I?
perception of good in this world is
Yeah, you never know these days.
way off.
Yeah. So I want to hear, Robbie, one, what you're entry buzzing. Two, what you're doing in life right now.
Well, one, I had a little bit of geez, just blank there. Madtown marketer Ben Klepsig. I had a little bit of that rum he sent.
I'm literally just sniffed it for the first time, and you saw my face when it's 138 proof, and he says on the bottle. I just realized this. He says, "Plantain." Yeah,
awesome.
It's great. So I love the nose. It's just a little potent.
It is. It's really
especially
potent,
for this glass. But I love it.
So again, I typically don't drink rums unless it's rum season. Call it football season. I'll drink rum and Coke during the Seahawks games. And I'm not a huge rum fan for the most part. I'll drink it. I like it in drinks. This is the first rum that I've had where I'm like, I could sip this. I could do this neat, and it is a-okay. Super molassesy, like Ben was saying, like it's
butterscotchy.
It's not like over vanilla, and I think a lot of times I'll get a lot of vanilla out of a rum, and I don't want to drink vanilla extract. So anyway, Ben, cheers. Thank you for the entry buzz. I think that's one of my favorite things. Like I was really encouraged, just like when people are like, "Hey, and here's an entry buzz." I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
I mean,
always
like,
welcome here, even if it's not whiskey.
Seriously, people send the big. It's crazy. I've got a shelf back there, like full of sample bottles, shows for days because people are kind and generous.
Super.
But then on top of it, like we know you guys are a bunch of liquor heads. I don't know. Is that what? Oh no, alcoholics, and you guys appreciate alcohol.
Technical term.
I think I like liquor head better.
I do. It sounds like lemon heads.
Liquor head, barely newer. But no. How's life, you ask? Not that much different, Cole, because I feel like we've been like we did Friday, Sunday.
Yeah.
We're like on the every other day schedule for recording right now. So nothing too much. Weather's nice.
Nice.
Continue.
Are you guys no one's sick at this moment?
No one's sick. We all have like that lingering cough and a little bit of like allergy type nasaliness. Although this morning, like last night around 2:30, like I swore something like I was either snoring or like the dog did something, because at 2:30 I woke up like, what's going on? And this morning I was like, what happened at 2:30, Chelsea? And she's like, I don't know, but you wouldn't stop snoring and farting all night long, so I could tell you about what's going on.
Waking yourself up.
Yeah, I was like, oh man, I'm a cute guy. I'm a cutie. No, weather's nice. People were pretty healthy. Let's see. Yeah.
And school is 1.5 more weeks or something like that?
6 school days, man. Three left this week, 3 left next week.
Nice.
By the time this airs, 3 days left.
Wow.
That's sweet. Also, I gotta say, Sunday, the drink along.
Yeah.
I had a lot. I think that was I had so much fun. It just was a good time.
Yeah, I agree.
So maybe we didn't have the biggest turnout. We do need to figure that out.
But it was like full of back and forth. It was
awesome. Fun. Yeah, a lot of interaction.
Yeah.
Miles.
So listen to it late if you weren't there.
And Brian, right? And Brian was
Brian Rapp and Miles Ferguson.
the fifth wheel.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Brian Rapp, the fifth
and
wheel.
Patricia.
Well, Patricia and Miles were a couple. Technically, we were
I think I didn't hear
we
you
were a
mention
couple.
Patricia.
So Brian was the fifth.
Yep, exactly.
But you know what? Sometimes fifth wheels are just really nice campers, and it's okay to be one.
Yeah.
And Brian, you are a really nice camper.
Darn right.
There we go.
Did you get Brian's package via courier this week?
I have not seen it if it's come yet. I literally got home and came to the office ready to record.
Nice.
So
it
may be
couriered us a fantastic bunch of samples. Like I'm talking like Michter's Barrel Proof Rye, Four Roses Limited Edition 2021, 2 types of crap. What was the? Oh, he had 3 types of
crap
of barrel spirits, like really special bottles. Like one was a Seagrass, one was the Armida, and then he had, I believe, a special bourbon they did as well. So really good stuff. So shout out, huge shout out to Brian Rapp. A double ding this week, because
technically that was a double ding for the fifth wheel.
Yeah, exactly. I think they all added up to 5. So
it did.
Yeah, no.
2 double dings in a single.
Mm-hmm. That's math right there.
That sounds like a rap lyric by Halfway to Heather, where they'd have
Halfway to Heather is transitioning into the rap career.
Well, it's like they're kind of entering the new metal phase. It's like Kid Rock shows up.
Mm-hmm.
2 double dings and a single ding.
Yeah.
Is that our new thing?
I feel like that's new metal right there. Is or what did you say? You said new what?
New metal, yeah.
Yeah, that's new metal right there. Is
Are they considered new metal?
I want to say Korn is considered new metal, or like partial. Like that's one of their categories. Yeah,
Korn is definitely. New metal.
I'm sorry. You're right.
Disturbed. They could be. I don't know.
Yeah, it could be. I could see.
I mean, there's no turntable. I don't know. I don't listen to them. So then maybe there's a turntable. Maybe there's a guy rapping.
Maybe there's 2 turntables
and a microphone.
Heyo, where
we were
it's
listening
at.
to that the other day.
Oh yeah,
I was just singing with it, and Mara's like, "How do you know this?" I'm like, "Because I'm old."
Yeah, because I enjoyed the '90s. Yeah, that's great.
That was on Odelay, wasn't it?
2 turntables. Yeah, I believe that was Odelay. Where it's it's definitely Odelay. Yeah. But hey, yeah, Beck's great, and I can't wait to prove that same thing to my children. Of like, how do you know the words to all these random '90s songs? It was like, well, Beck, because I was conceived in the late '80s.
Mm-hmm. And we couldn't just pull up any song we wanted at any time.
Yeah, you had to play through the whole Mellow Gold album.
You did. We didn't have to because
you didn't have to, but it was probably good too.
We didn't have our PlayStation. We had PlayStations. We weren't glued to our cell phones, and we listened. It's just actually Amara. So Amara doesn't watch a lot of TV and stuff like that, but she will listen to a lot of radio, and the same thing. Like song will come on, and she knows it. I'm like, I don't even know how you know that.
Nice,
but you do, and I like that. I like that she's a radio listener.
Yeah, that's where it all got started for me. Is radio '90s, mostly pop. Well, no, mostly country and pop while I grew up. But then my sister started to dig a little bit into like alternative and kind of more of the hard rock stuff. Not hard rock stuff. I would say like things as far as like Breaking Benjamin or like Crossfade or something like that.
Something slightly edgier.
Yeah, exactly. That's the way to put it. Something slightly
edgy on the surface.
Alternative. Yeah.
It's like a cake with the
presidents of the United States of America on top.
There you go. Are you old enough to remember like recording songs off the radio onto a cassette tape?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Because that's what you would have to do. You would sit in your room, and as soon as you knew a song was just about to end, you would get your 2 fingers placed right over. It was always record and play, right? Yep. And you'd be waiting. And you hit it. That's the wrong song. The song. Stop it. Rewind.
You met Chelsea in the mid 2000s, right?
early 2000.
Yeah,
like
that's right.
2003.
Yeah. So you
2003,
probably were
2004.
in the mixed CD, like
No,
the
we
burn
weren't.
CD stage with her, or were you not?
Yes and no.
Okay.
Kind of burn. See, now
Okay.
I did not come from an affluent family, so I did not have a computer with a burner.
Ah,
But
but
gosh, it
she
was
did.
so
She
she
made
did.
you
Yes,
some burn CDs.
she would burn me some CDs, and I always
What a
appreciated it.
gal.
And then like, so we also had like, before we started dating, gosh, I can't remember the name of it. It was like a mini disc. It was like a Sony mini disc player.
Yep.
Which was, did you ever have one of those?
No, but I've seen
I
them.
loved them because it was like mini discs, like
Hmm.
cassettes, like little
Yeah.
miniature CDs. You could put like, gosh, 200 songs on it or something like that.
Yeah.
And Chelsea and I would have a mix that we would pass back and forth,
Nice.
and we'd each add 5 songs to it. And then I'd borrow her
Nice.
computer because I didn't have the nice computer. And I'd
Hmm.
put 5 songs on it. And so we did that, which was pretty fun.
I love that.
Gosh, I would love to be able to find that. I love my
Yeah.
mini disc player too, because it was a cheaper version of what an iPod could do. And I thought it was better than iPod because you could, hey, oh, you want some songs? Here you go. I didn't have to like
Yeah.
iTunes it. And like, yeah, you just hand people songs.
That's
And it
cool.
wouldn't skip.
Mhm.
And my mini disc player had a radio on it, so I could also listen to the radio when I was working on it. It was wonderful.
To this day, one of my greatest accomplishments in life is making one of Chelsea's favorite mix CDs.
Yes.
And
if you can get, she is a music critic. She really enjoys music. She there's a lot of stuff. I stopped listening to a lot of stuff that I really enjoy because she doesn't enjoy it. And I can get behind it. She doesn't like ska, so we don't really listen to ska. Although the other day, Junior goes, Alexa, play the Mighty Mighty Mobstones or something like that. I was like, yeah. So I had to rub that.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
And Chelsea had to grin and bear it.
She did.
Who doesn't like the Mighty Mighty Boss Tones? Am I right?
She appreciates it. Yeah. Yeah. Hey, Finley, Daddy's. Hold on. Go ask Mommy. What?
While Robbie is talking about
how are you doing, Cole?
No, yeah, doing well. I'm excited. I actually haven't even mentioned it in the past few weeks, but I am going to Disney World this Memorial Day weekend. It's going to be packed, busy, holiday weekend. They're opening a new Big Deal ride that same weekend.
Ooh, what are they opening? What is the Big Deal ride? Not big enough a deal to remember.
Galaxy or something, or like Star Warsy. I don't even remember. I didn't even look at it. But all I know
is it's probably like the whole Marvel universe thing.
Yeah, it might be a Marvel-based thing. Star Wars doesn't ring a bell as much as Marvel does in this case. Heather would be like, "No, it's totally this," and I would be like, "Oh yeah, totally." And but the other thing, it's going to be thunderstorming the whole weekend in Orlando. So I'm not like bummed about that. We kind of knew it wasn't going to be like this killer weekend of perfect Disney setting or anything like that. It's going to be fun though. And it's Beck's first time at Disney World. And Heather,
that's big,
loves Disney World.
She's a Disney family. She comes from a Disney family.
100%.
Yeah.
And I realized, and I used to call her Disney brat, but actually that's like a technical term. That's usually the people that like intern and like work at Disney and stuff like that. I don't know, but she's a Disney fanatic and she loves it. And but here's the wrench in the machine here that's turning as we go, is that yesterday my dad, even just early this week, my dad had basically, let me back it up. A while ago, I went on a trip with my dad to Wyoming, Utah, all that stuff.
And you drank some Buffalo Trace and Eagle Rare.
Yes, that's for sure. I don't know about
Cole,
Eagle Rare.
It was just Buffalo Trace.
Just Buffalo
and
Trace.
Cole sucked it up and went on hikes, even though he doesn't like hiking.
But I loved looking at the juniper trees, and didn't really love the views as much as I loved the juniper tree views. But that being said, my dad thought, well, I should do this with my daughters too, and so he decided to invite all of the daughters to Annapolis, Maryland area. As most people know, Annapolis is in Maryland. And basically have including my wife. So my oldest sister, Kate, and then my youngest of the older sisters, Amanda, my half sister, Micah, Shout out to Micah, because I don't know if I've ever. No, I've probably mentioned Micah.
I don't know if I've ever heard him.
Dude, Micah's amazing. So my dad is very open about this stuff. My dad, I don't know how to phrase this without sounding weird, but my dad got a girl pregnant in high school. And they decided to put the baby up for adoption. And so it's like crazy, like all these situations, like, but it makes me love the idea of adoption in a way, because she was raised by this amazing family out in Kansas. And when she was around 21 or so, she wanted to find her dad, and we made the connection, and like my dad was looking for her a little bit, and they made the connection, and we have been tight ever since. She is amazing. Like,
that's Micah.
Yeah, that's Micah.
Oh, nice. I see. I didn't even know that, Cole.
Yeah, Micah's got about 10 years ish on Kate, the oldest sister of mine. About nine years on Kate. And so she's got me by like 15 years or so, or 13 or so years. But Micah lives out in Kansas. Just the sweetest woman ever. Like, she came out. We might have mentioned this. So when Beck was born, 3 sisters came out. Kate came out and kind of helped out with Beck, and then Amanda came out and helped out with Beck. But I think before either of them came, Micah came out and was just happy to help. And that's who she is. Awesome. She's generous. She is willing to give of herself and her time, and she's amazing. So if you're listening, Micah, you're amazing. Anyway, all 3 sisters and my wife, the sister-in-law in this case, were in Annapolis with my dad and just getting some, quality hangout time for the week. And so Heather was only able to go up for a day because of Beck and because she wasn't able to get a lot of time off of work. So I took care of Beck on Monday. What's that?
Hard. Heather's bosses must be riding hard.
They are running a tight ship over there, man. But they midway through hangout yesterday, my mom alerts everyone that she got COVID.
Oh no.
And here's where it gets a little hard, is that my mom is watching Kate's kids, and Kate overlapped with my mom by like a day or 2.
So then everybody's kind of exposed.
The girls got sick. The nieces of mine got sick, and we don't know if it's COVID. They tested negative for COVID, but my mom also tested negative for COVID for a few days. She had symptoms of sickness, but she kept testing, and she's like, I'm not going to go out there and take care of these girls if I have COVID. But she kept getting tested, and there was no COVID. And then finally she gets to Boston, and she does have COVID, and it's like official. And so Kate may have COVID. Heather hung out with Kate for half a day. Heather's back in Virginia, and we're just waiting to see if symptoms show up. The best news, or the best counter to that bad news, is that we did have Omicron already, Heather and I, and there is a chance that Kate doesn't even have symptoms to begin with. And so but we're gonna feel it out, and we're gonna test. But if we have COVID, we're not gonna go to Disney World.
Yeah, that stinks. See, that's how we are with like our Mexico trip, where we're just like,
totally,
dude, we can't risk. Like we are invested monetarily into this, and we don't. I told Chelsea, buy every single thing, anything we can buy, and buy the insurance on it.
Yeah, you never know. And so I know it would destroy Heather if we weren't able to take back to Disney World this weekend, and it would be like that one time where I decided not to go to Boise because of COVID, where I was like, okay. And I know Heather would be worse than that, and not in an angry way or anything. She would just be so let down. So I'm really hoping, cross your fingers, listeners, that by the time this episode comes out, we are in Disney and enjoying it for the whole Memorial Day weekend. So,
one nice thing, you said there's thunderstorms, and that might deter a lot of people from being super active in the park. Yeah. So, Cole, we're running long. You got anything else you want to mention, like how life is or anything? I feel like
I started studying this week. Yeah.
Whoa.
So
watch out.
Be prepared to not get in my way on the street.
Don't jokingly take his parking spot.
Yes, that's for sure. Or I will get out of the car ready to fight you. But yeah, besides that, I'm excited to talk about
poorly parked trucker.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We are drinking MB Roland today.
Yeah,
I
we
think
are.
mentioned that.
You
Dark
did.
fired straight bourbon, straight Kentucky. Dark fired Kentucky straight bourbon, and we have 2 batches. And I've already had just about an ounce and a half of 138 proof liquor. So it might get a little crazy today. I'm welcoming those kind of things
I'm
because we're
taking
going to
my
be
shirt off
drinking
right now.
basically
Okay.
2 samples. Yeah, I'll take off my shirt right now. But let's send it to break. We're trying to keep this episode short, but we're going on a record almost for the length of Shooting the Breeze. So, yeah, send it to break right now. We'll be right back. All right, we're back. That was a good break.
That was great.
Break. So before I get into the history, I wanted to give 2 big shout outs. Like I mentioned, I would. Last week, I mentioned that the MB Roland Dark Fired Corn was a shout out to Marco and KC, but that is not the full truth because Marco and KC did provide batch 20, but we also have batch 21 with us. And that is a shout out to John Hughes of Embellish Pod. So thank you, both of you guys. You guys are amazing. What kind of, what do you call it? Like coincidence to be able to have the adjacent batches in the MB Roland Dark Fired Kentucky Straight Bourbon batches. So we got 20 and 21. 20 was from Marco, 21 from John. So let's talk about what we're drinking today. This is the second time we've ever had MB Roland on the podcast. And episode 160, almost a year ago, we drank MB Roland Straight Bourbon. But I wanted to talk a little bit and remind us about the distillery.
Please do, because I don't remember drinking MB Roland.
Mm-hmm. It's the distillery started in 2009 in Pembroke, Kentucky, down on John Hughes's side of the state, kind of like that southwestern appendage of Kentucky. Pembroke is actually really closer to Nashville than it is to like Louisville or Bardstown or anything like that. Small town, 725 population, at least according to the 2020 census. And I hate to sound rude, but Pembroke doesn't seem to have a lot going on. I did some research, and I'd recommend, if you're in the city of Pembroke, to hit up Godfather's Pizza. Pretty much the only restaurant in Pembroke, Kentucky. But Hopkinsville, not too far away, has a few more options just for future reference. If you're thinking maybe I'll get some food in Pembroke, maybe if you're down for Godfather's Pizza, be down for Godfather's Pizza. But if you want something a little more saucy besides pizza, go into Hopkinsville, which is northwest of.
So I'm going to stop you there for a second, because speaking of John Hughes and recommendations, John did some really good 2 episodes, maybe 1 episode of touring.
Yeah, I remember
Bardstown and Louisville. So if you guys
what
ever
restaurants
do
to hit up and stuff,
he did a really good job. So if I ever do that, I'm re-listening to that episode. So go back, check him out. Embellish Pod.
Yeah, Embellish Pod. And he's killing it. Uprocks gave him top 15 or 20 whiskey podcasts.
I think it was like 15. Yeah.
Yeah. What a baller. Excuse me, everyone.
Ring.
All right. So, and I made me want to look up where John Hughes lives, and I won't dox him. But it is much more lively than Hopkinsville and
less than Shively.
I was about to say, but not as lively as Shively. But yeah, there's a university where John lives that has a student population 15 times larger than the population of the city of Pembroke. But I severely digress. So there's this guy named Paul Tomaszewski, originally from Louisiana, and he brought MB Roland to Pembroke, and it was MB was named for his wife, Mary Beth, as in like Merry Christmas Beth, not like Mary, Mother of Jesus. Could not figure out what the Roland part was named for, Maybe Marco or John knows that one. But they settled down in 725 population Pembroke, where Mary Beth was originally from, actually, and bought an Amish dairy farm and started up distilling. They actually mentioned in an interview one time that we bought it not sight unseen, but they bought it as is, the whole dairy farm, and they found that there was like a dead cow on the farm, and they're like, and so we had to have that removed.
Par for course, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So if you're buying an old worn down farm,
yeah,
you're lucky you only find one dead cow.
Exactly.
I mean, we found half a dead cow when we bought our house. Like that's real estate, man. Real estate, baby.
I found a Knox. This distillery is perfect example of grain to glass. They make and distill everything they sell. And originally, while their whiskey was aging at the beginning, they needed to sell other things to, keep up their business. And they made other moonshiny type products like the Kentucky Pink Lemonade, which is basically like a 45 proof moonshine with like strawberry and lemon and stuff like that. That's like infused into it. But the real thing they were passionate about was whiskey. And they have a lot of options, actually. We talked about it last time, but there are quite a few whiskey products. I'm going to mention a few. First, there's straight bourbon. And that was, I believe, the one we drank last. Yeah, we drank their straight bourbon last. They also do a single barrel straight bourbon, a straight wheated bourbon. They do a straight rye and a straight malt whiskey. And then even a straight wheated whiskey as opposed to a wheated bourbon. They have a Kentucky Azul, basically an American tequila. And they even have a straight corn whiskey. So they basically have every American type whiskey present. Like I can't even think of any other examples. I guess they have a malt whiskey. So they got it all. So, and then what we're drinking today. And here's a quote from their website. Quote, Western Kentucky is known for dark-fired tobacco. We've taken this time-honored process and married it with the art of distilling, using our own dark-fired corn and aging in a new charred oak barrel. We have created an unrivaled smoky bourbon. Our dark-fired bourbon is uncut and unfiltered, straight from the barrel to the bottle. And now we've been talking about doing something like this for a while, like someone basically smoking corn. And we even mentioned that the Kings County bourbon out of Brooklyn, New York, they use peated barley in their corn, but usually they actually have a very strong, like a high malted barley mash bill. But that is not the same as smoking corn. And we've always talked about smoking corn. And it looks like MB Roland's doing that.
Corn heads over here.
Yeah, exactly. And the
hey,
liquor
man,
heads.
you got any corn?
Yeah.
Put that in my pipe and smoke it.
Yeah.
No, man, I'm just a liquor head. I ain't no corn head.
Exactly. For some reason, that just made me think of like...
that fructose goes straight to your head, man. You can't smoke that.
Yeah. I was watching... was it you I was talking to about... I've been watching How I Met Your Mother.
We mentioned it on Sunday, I think.
Okay, yeah. So I like it, but there was the episode with Barney's brother, who was played by Wayne Brady, which I was like, oh, that was so good. So anyway, it's like perfect. And you just made me think, like what you were saying just made me think of like, whose line is it anyway? Like Wayne Brady line or something like that.
Which made me think of Dave Chappelle and Wayne Brady on Dave
Chappelle.
So
good. So good. Anyway, look it up.
Or don't if you're
or don't if you
enough.
I mean, expect the explicit rating to show up on that one.
If you're but granted, I don't think our demographic is too young. It's just the youngest listeners are in their car with their parents, and their parents can...
Zoe, I encourage you not to look it up.
Seriously.
Yeah. But maybe when you're older and your parents allow it. Here we go. So here's the crazy thing. I looked up, so they basically compare this dark fired stuff to how they dark fire tobacco. So I looked up what's the process of dark fired tobacco. And it's very similar to malted barley. They basically harvest the tobacco and hang it from like the top of not a rick house, but like almost like a malting house. And it's very tall. It's a barn. I mean, the best way to put it is it's a barn. But they
probably one or two dead cows in there.
Yeah, there might be a dead cow. Just scoot it to the side. And what they do is, but it is very similar to a malt house because they fill the bottom of the malt house with like sawdust, and like good sawdust, not your crap stuff. And they light the sawdust on fire, very slow burn, but a smoky burn. And they hang all this tobacco that's like somewhat like still drying from the ceiling, and it basically gives it a smoky flavor on top of the tobacco-y smoky flavor.
You wouldn't think you need to do that if something you're going to smoke.
No, you wouldn't. But
I don't know. I don't smoke enough cigars. No, I got it.
I mean, you think about it. It's like, actually, my mom got me a cigar recently, which I'm like, thanks, Mom. But it has the Blanton's. It's like a Blanton's soaked tobacco or something like that, because it actually has it's like a glass tube that it's in, and the cork to the tube is like a miniature Blanton's cork.
Oh yeah, that's
kind of
cute.
Cool. Can't wait to smoke it.
Super cute.
Yeah. So anyway, so it's kind of like I was very impressed that they probably did something similar. I imagine they somehow incorporated the corn, and I want to believe that they kept it on the cob before they smoked it. But they straight up smoked. I mean, I'm imagining, because they're comparing it so much to the Western Kentucky dark fired tobacco process. I imagine they did something similar. So let's just consider it smoked similar to malted barley. But they don't talk about it much on their website. So let's talk about what we're drinking today. MB Roland dark fired corn Kentucky, or dark fired Kentucky straight bourbon. We're drinking batch 20 and 21. So batch 20, and I'm imagining batch 21. I wasn't able to look up batch by batch. And I don't think there's that much on it, but at least batch 20 is 45% white corn. And that's another thing about MB Roland. They use 100% white corn in all of their like corn related whiskey. And it's from a local Pembroke farm too, which is cool. 33% dark fired corn on top of that 45%, and then 17% rye and 5% malted barley. Batch 20 is 112.6 proof, and batch 21 is 112.8 proof. So not too different. No age statement, but it is a straight bourbon, so it's at least 2 years aged in new charred American oak barrels, or at least charred oak containers. And according to MB Roland's website, dark fired corn, or dark fired Kentucky straight bourbon, is out of stock, and I believe it sells out pretty quickly per batch, but it is $70 if and when you can get it. So that's what we're drinking today. I have 2 glasses per each sip, and let's get on it, man. Let's sip this.
Start with the 20 neat, 21 neat, and then just keep it 2021.
I say, yeah. Well, yeah. Wait. So okay. So like neat for both, like neat for 20, neat for 21.
Neat. Water, ice.
Okay, I'm down. Yep. Let's do it.
Got my double ding, single.
Speaking of double dings, I just had. Did anyone hear that? I guess I can't ask the audience, but I just had a sale, and it made a cha-ching sound. So, all right, here is batch 21. I'm going to put that in my taller glass.
You doing?
Oh, and don't forget that John Hughes is an extra baller for putting a cool shrink wrap on his cool sample bottles. So.
Oh yeah, I better start working on that. Speaking of which, so John also did an episode where he talked about harvest, like tobacco smoking season harvest,
cool.
And like.
Yeah, it's a big Western Kentucky thing.
Yeah, and it makes me want to, like, if I ever go to Kentucky, that's when I want to go around there, because it just says it just smells great.
Oh, I believe it. And tobacco, like that kind of tobacco, like smell can be fantastic. It's not like you're, sniffing your dad's cigar or your cigarette out of your Coke bottle or whatever.
From time to time I will just go buy some smoking tobacco
Just smell it.
and just keep it in my sock drawer because I like the
Nice.
smell of it. Yeah,
That's kind of cool. I like that idea because it's contained, but you can get it every now and then.
When I get my socks, this smells like my grandpa.
And your daughter will walk up to you and be like, "You smell like great grandpa."
That was a weird laugh. I'm sorry.
That was a fun laugh.
How'd that laugh go again?
like Pretty Woman or whatever. Like,
or like was it Billy Madison? How'd that laugh go again?
Wait, was that a Chris Farley thing?
No, it's Adam Sandler. It's
with the girl, with the teacher.
I think so. I think it was Billy Madison. What was the other? So it was Billy Madison.
Happy Gilmore.
I think it was Billy Madison.
Okay, cool.
Because it's the dad's other guy that's keeping an eye on Billy, who doesn't try to sabotage Billy. Says that.
Oh, nice. The nicer guy.
There's definitely a little smokiness to it. Surprise.
There's a funk, and not in a bad way. It's just
funk's a good way to put it. It is
earthy,
natural kind of like.
It's not bright. I wouldn't call this bright, and that's not a bad thing either. But there is a funk to it, which isn't. It's almost.
But
malted barley-y.
It's sweet too. There's a little sweetness on it.
Yeah,
almost like a raisiny, like a dark fruit kind of sweetness.
Yeah, I like that. Raisin is a good note to bring out, which you don't typically get in a bourbon, in my opinion. So, nice color. I can't imagine. Go ahead. Oh, you're drinking more. Yeah, I can't imagine it's too young, or maybe they use smaller barrels because it is a darker color.
No, I just got like a really crisp, bright note as I was drinking. I kind of sniffed, and I'm trying to replicate it. Definitely smoky. You can taste it
in a great way.
Yeah, in a really.
I really like the smokiness. It's not like It's not the same smokiness you'd get from an Islay Scotch.
Yeah, it's definitely more tobacco, like an earthy kind of tobacco smoke, for sure.
Yeah,
no surprise.
You got a great point. I mean, like it is. Yeah, I think even that might even be the funk that I'm getting is like a tobacco funk, like a pipe funk.
On the nose, it's almost actually, it's kind of like if you have like a pipe tobacco or like even like a cigar where it goes out, like you lose your ember on it, and then you relight it. It's kind of where that funk goes. That's where it's at. It's like it's got a smoky kind of way like that, where it's still sweet and it's still tasty, but it's got a little bit of like the funk.
It's different. Yeah.
I like it.
It has caramel notes throughout for me. It is sweet on the palate, not as much on the nose, but it is a little sweet on the nose. I like it. This would go really well in an old fashioned even. And I would hate to cheapen it so much to say this is an old fashioned bourbon. Like I would drink this straight easily. I'm impressed.
I am drinking it straight easily.
Yeah.
I'm gonna head over to batch 21.
Okay.
So
I'm gonna drop a few drops and let it simmer in there for a little bit while I get to batch 21. I have a good feeling these aren't going to be that different, but who knows? They might be completely different.
Science, am I right? We're blinding you with science.
We're blending these with science.
Ooh,
she blended me with science.
Science.
Oh man.
So less smoky on 21 though. That funk's not there.
You're right, and it's brighter. It's fruitier.
It's almost like a more citrusy kind of fruitusness to it.
Yeah,
I mean, that's kind of like a citrus oil is real bright and kind of.
There's no funk to me. I don't know about you.
No, it's not like that.
It's very different.
It is. What is it? What did Grandmama say? Don't waste the funk on a nasty dunk.
We want the funk. Gotta have that funk.
Ooh.
Ow. Completely different.
Very similar too in the same sense.
Okay.
I think up front I get a lot of that Christmas much less of a dark fruit kind of a thing, but then it really hits tobacco notes on the back end.
I agree with the tobacco notes on the back end. I'm getting a little youth to this one. Seems younger to me. The age doesn't seem as matured for the batch 21.
It is kind of, there's a little bit more oakiness though, I think.
Yeah, I'm with you. And it's not the oak that I typically like, to be honest. I much prefer a batch 20 on this one.
I think 20 is more unique. They're both unique, I think, but I do kind of like where 20 goes a little bit better, I think. Just the smoky funk on it, which is weird because what was it? What was the last one we talked about earthy notes where we got earthy and I was like, this is too earthy? What was that?
It was recent. It was the crap.
Can't remember.
Earthy. And I thought it was too earthy.
It's not earthy bad.
I might have it on my desk.
I was like, here, let's keep sniffing here. I'll look it up.
Yeah. Wait, what was it? This? Nope. I don't know. Oh, it was Rittenhouse, right? No.
Yes, it was written. It had to be Rittenhouse. Yep.
Yeah.
I'm gonna double check that, but I'm pretty sure it was Rittenhouse. It was just earthy and gross.
Yeah, I much prefer batch 20 to this 21.
Yeah, it was Rittenhouse.
So Marco is winning this battle.
I think sweetness shows up a little bit more with the water. Wow. With water, it's a little. I mean, the heat shows up a little bit more too.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm looking. You know how? So it's been all across the whiskey news is that Virginia does now like announced drops at certain locations.
Oh boy,
we just got an email, and luckily, perfect timing. None of them are near me. So
we don't have to.
Dude, well, I would think if it were the one down the street, I'd be like, Robbie, give me like 10 minutes. But not in this case. None are near me, we're good. So it doesn't matter.
Well, speaking of news too, Adam just texted us and said, hey, I don't keep up with it, but 200 episodes. Congratulations, guys.
Yeah, shout out to
Adam.
Every
once in a while he listens in. Yeah, thanks, Adam.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be here without him.
Yeah, that's for sure.
All right, I'm going to go for another sip on this. A little bit of like minty, almost a little minty mentholy on the nose too. Like maybe it might just be vapors too that I'm getting instead of a minty note.
Ow, we want the funk.
This got the funk.
Ow.
It also has, I think the sweet corn, like the corn is more pronounced with a little bit of water too. Definitely picking up on the corn.
Okay, so, I'm going. Are you on batch 20?
That is 20. Yep.
Okay.
20 with water.
I just added the water. So nose, great. The funk is a little less on the nose to me. Yeah. And bourbony, caramely. I wouldn't say vanilla-y, but I'm not getting too much funk or smokiness on the nose so far.
So definitely the longer it lingers on my palate, lots of corn. It is very corn forward for sure in the sweetness. Like a smoky corn. What? How can we explain this? Oh, did you listen to Cole's history? That's how it's explained. Yeah,
for those who skipped ahead. We gotta at least assume that some people are skipping through our history portion or our shooting the breeze portion. But you know what, Steve?
I would think it's more likely they shoot. Skip.
Explicit.
Shoot. Sorry.
He didn't mean to say that.
I meant to say skip through the shoot the breeze portion, but I blended scoop through the poop. I think it's more likely they almost did skip through the shoot the breeze than they do through the history.
Yeah.
But that's just
But you know what, Steve? Sure. You can still listen even if you skip the shooting the breeze portion.
Yeah. If we have lots of other inaccuracies. Like I you know what I'd like to think? Mental Prick, whatever his name is.
Yeah.
He's probably listening to like my weekend and he's like my stalker and he's like, that's not what Robbie did last
week.
That
is
this is full of inaccuracies. He's making his life during the COVID season seem way
Sound
cooler
fun.
than it is.
Yeah. Mhm.
Oh no.
Yeah.
No, he didn't have fun with his kids. He blew up at them because he was trying to have a meeting with his kids that he has to work with. He's a
Yep.
liar. Yeah.
Mhm.
All right. All right. I'm going
Um,
to 21.
yeah, me too. I enjoyed the 20.
Ooh.
There was a little bit of smoke on the finish, but more caramel, and actually vanilla did show up on the palate for me.
So. I was more of a corn whiskey. Interesting on the nose with the water on 21. Getting a little bit more to the smoke.
Yeah, it got funkier too.
It did, yeah. Okay, perfect. All right, go for it.
The funk.
Just got the funk.
Ow.
Huh. So interesting. Like this has, with the water, it kind of hits a sharp, like almost like a tang to it. It's got a little bit of like, but it had like this little citrusy too. So it's kind of almost got like a tangy sharpness to it.
This took the lead to me in the water pour.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Water between the two water. This is definitely got it.
Which I didn't expect. Like the neat pour was an easy win to batch 20. So I guess John Hughes, you're still in the game. So let's see how the ice pour goes. Yeah.
Nose wise on the water too. A little more appley, less corn. Like I wouldn't. It's not as corn forward as 20. So
nice.
I do like whatever tangy kind of thing is there. It's good. Oh, you're doing the fire in the hole technique.
I had to. I only had like one piece of ice basically.
All right.
So here goes batch 20 with the ice spin J. Watch closely, everyone.
Job.
For those who are on YouTube.
Where did I put my ice? Here.
And if you look in the glass, you can actually see what we're looking at on screen. Man, I do not like biting ice.
If you look in the glass, you can see what we're seeing on screen.
Yeah, like you see the reflection.
Oh, gotcha.
StreamYard. Huh. First thing I'll mention before I even get to the nose is that it's colder in my glass.
It is
pretty rare.
I was about to spit my ice grenade pin out, and then Junie walked up to the door, and I was like, I don't want to see me. Just said it.
Well, if it were Finley, it'd be a different story. She'd be like, oh.
I just didn't want to be
Finley.
Like, Junie, oh, why would we not?
There's no reason we would never love Finley.
No, Judy would see me spitting and be like, Dad spit. I'm going to spit.
I'm allowed to spit. Yeah. So that's the difference between Junie and Finley is like, Junie's like, I'm going to do whatever I want from what I just saw. Finley would be like, were you pointing that in my general direction?
That's probably true.
Yeah. Nose is simple on batch 20.
Yeah. Yeah, it kind of kills stuff, but it's
got a nice, super
mild,
smoky,
very mild sweetness. No smoke, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Don't love it. Don't love batch 20. Palate wise with the ice. I feel like the ice brought out some of the oakiness and youth to it. Somewhat soapy.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll see if batch 21 can make up the difference. So this might be a close one, guys.
A little bit of smoke. I don't know if at first I didn't think I liked it that much, but it's pleasant. A little bit of smoke on the back end. It's not prominent at all.
Yeah.
It tastes like a really good corn whiskey.
I'm with you there, actually. That's not a bad whiskey. Point.
You know?
Yeah.
Like an actual corn whiskey is it can be a little harsh. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's not, but this it feels like a really good sand the corners down on a corn whiskey.
Yeah.
With a little bit of smoke.
Keep it simple, stupid.
Yep.
So I'm sniffing batch 21 now with ice.
Mm-hmm.
I got to spin Jade a little bit more because I kind of left the ice in there.
Oh,
did you hear Beck in the background?
I just did, yeah.
Oh.
Is she happy?
She's not.
Well, let's move this along.
But here's the funny thing about Beck, and it's a blessing. If she's crying, something's up. Like she rarely cries like that. So, but I know that Heather has it for now, and I will assist after this. And we're at 50 freaking minutes, so let's finish this up.
Yeah.
What do you think of the palate and the? You know?
No, water on the 21 is where it's at. This has some bitter notes to it. Smoke is very prominent, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but when you combine smoke with bitter, it just reminds me of the time my ex burned down my house.
Yep.
So I don't like that.
What'd you prefer in terms of the 21 versus the 20 with ice?
With ice, definitely the 20. You like 21? Like I get a bitter note off the 21. The smoke is there, but it's more like
either. Yeah.
No. Smoke it's I really liked neat on the 20 because it was very much like a nice tobacco leaf. 21 with ice is just
do not like the ice.
A lot of smoke and bitter.
Yeah. So I gotta water this down.
All right. Let's do some ratings here.
So I'm gonna be honest.
Okay.
And I'm not just saying this because we love Marco and we love John, but they were pretty even in terms of their best pours.
Yes, in terms of best pours.
I think the ice, the water was easy win for batch 21, and the neat was easy win for batch 20. I am going to rate this.
Okay.
At 8.75 for both of them.
Okay. Solid.
I'm gonna actually combine them both because they're both great in their respective pours. I think this was almost Hubba to What. I'm blown away. I'm encouraged that we get to try a smoked corn whiskey, smoked corn bourbon in this case, and I loved it. I really liked it. I don't think I got Hubba to What though.
Yeah.
So an 8.75 is nothing to rub your nose at.
Stick at.
Shake a stick at.
Yeah. I think I'm with you. I'm going to go for the 21. I'm going to go 8.7. Well, no.
Okay.
21. I'm going to go 8.4.
Okay.
To me the water pour on it was the best, but it wasn't great. It was good. I enjoyed it.
And John, if you still got a bottle of the 21 batch, add some water. Find out if you like it better.
20.
And
I'm gonna
Marco, don't add water. Don't add ice.
The 20. I'm gonna go 8.8, and it's really close to Hubba to What. Here's the thing. I feel like this is kind of niche. I'm not a huge tobacco fan, but so many tobacco notes on it. I do like it. If you really like tobacco, you need to go. Yeah. You need
This would be really good with a cigar.
It probably would be. Probably would be. But if you really like cigars and smoking and tobacco and stuff, like seek this out because it is unique. And I think it's a little more niche, right?
Totally.
So, that's your.
But if you're ever in Pembroke, Kentucky, there's nothing better to do than go to the MB Roland Distillery.
Godfather's Pizza.
And Godfather's Pizza.
Do it.
Yeah.
All right.
I think that's their slogan at Godfather's Pizza.
I think I'm going to make an executive decision here, Cole, because it's a slow news day. We're not going to go to our favorite segment. We're just going to skip it because we're going long. There's no Whiskey World news. We're going to take a break. Did you even
have an article? At least read the title of your article.
I did have I'll read when we come back, we'll read the title of an article, and then it'll lead us into what whiskey would you choose?
Perfect. So are we sending it to break?
It's break.
Okay. Whiskey World News music, cue now.
And we are back.
No part of the show
where we're not going to read an article. We're not really going to talk about it. We're just going to read the title of an article, and it's going to lead us into our next segment.
I would like to hear the author of the article for bibliography purposes.
Well, that's going to be a little tricky. I did have a Nino Marchetti one picked out.
Oh, Nino.
It was a
Kilgore?
Marchetti.
There we go.
But really you just said go title, so I'm going to go with the title of an article written by Yannick Chiratasia
Wow,
from
sounds
Essentially
Eastern
Sports.
European.
It's got a lot of Y's, N's, K's, and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And her article is titled "Conor McGregor's Sworn Enemy Spotted Endorsing $600 million Whiskey Brand Proper 12." Now, that would have been one of the articles I would have read, but it wasn't
Khabib
very
or whatever
whiskey
his name
focused.
is.
No, it's and Connor over who gives gems like shouting at us right now. No, it's Dustin
Thanks,
Poirier.
Connor. Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, that would have been the article. Now
Cool.
let's, for the sake of time here, we got to move along.
We got to talk about last week's responses to our whiskey, or what whiskey would you choose?
Exactly. So today, episode's coming out Memorial Day. Very important day to me.
And thank you for all who have served our country.
Thank you all who died for serving our country.
Amen.
And I don't go to Memorial Day services at the veterans thing because you know what? I find it a little tacky, and I see kids running around jumping on the graves. And you know what? Some soldiers might like that. They might like your kids playing on their graves. I feel like it's a little disrespectful. So when Amara said, "Dad, are we going to go to the Memorial Day services?" I said, "Nope. We will go early and we will pay our respects." Yeah. Anyway, off my soapbox. Here we go. So last week's was, what whiskey is memorable for you? Tell us a little whiskey love story.
I love it.
I went with Planting Straight from the Barrel. Cole went with
I think you won.
So far, I'm winning. I did post it a little bit late. We got 4 more hours on it as the time of recording.
What was the percentages?
Currently, right now, I'm winning at 55 to 45. So it's getting closer.
Close.
It's getting closer. And then we had just a couple just 2 write-ins at this point.
Okay. Was Joel one of those write-ins?
Did Joel send us a message?
No, but Joel wanted to send us some Planting Straight from the Barrel, and I know he voted for Planting Straight from the Barrel.
He did not send us one. No,
so
we got one from Blends.
Okay, Joel. We don't care. We don't care if you don't comment and don't say anything. It's no big deal. We don't care at all. It's not a big deal at all. We love you, Joel, but it's not a big deal.
Don't let Cole pressure you. You're a wonderful person.
We love you, Joel. You're our favorite Tasmanian
Cole, and I was going good cop, and you were bad cop, and then you went to good cop.
Right. Now I'm the bad cop.
I got to go bad cop.
Yeah.
Screw you, Joel.
Yeah.
Okay. But Big Kleps said the restaurant didn't have the Hazmat King of Kentucky from the menu, but he got a different one half off. I'm not sure.
Different batch.
Different batch. Okay, not the Hazmat, but the King of Kentucky. So Cream of Kentucky.
That's a good story. That's a memorable pour.
King of Kentucky.
Yes, we've had a King of Kentucky.
I used to be the King of Kentucky, and then I got usurped by.
And then I was the Colonel of Kentucky.
And then Miles Ferguson went E.H. Taylor 4 grain. Cole shared his prize lottery.
I remember that.
And he found out he actually likes bourbon. And that's a memory right there.
Especially when it's classy bourbon like E.H. Taylor 4 grain.
All right, Cole.
He's a man of high caliber.
That is, good luck getting that hitting that. Yeah. Well, I only had the straight from the barrel once too, and that's a tricky one to get, but it was a good memory.
Yeah.
It was a memorable whiskey because it taught me about buttery notes. And I was like, friggin' mouthfeel. I knew it tasted good, but I didn't know it felt so good.
Yeah.
Speaking of feel so good, if we get to $1,000 on Patreon every month, Cole's gonna feel some whiskey up his rectum. All right, so this week, based off just the title of our World Whiskey News,
It's getting better.
We're gonna ask you this week, what whiskey would you give to your sworn enemy?
I like that.
Yeah. Do you got any ideas there, Cole?
I feel like that's a great question, actually, because do you give them something that's good and basically love your enemy?
Good
or
cop?
Do you give them something that's crap and you're like, trust me, it's really good. And then
Bad
they're like,
cop.
I think I like it. And you're like, sucker. And I'm going to lean towards the latter of those two. I'm not going to go the Jesus route. I'm going to go with the Black Maple Hill Oregon Rye.
Was that episode 5 or 6 or something like that?
Oh man, did we ever? I think we did drink that.
I remember you guys did. You kind of at some point you did.
We alluded to it, but I don't know if we ever drank it.
It might have been a lost episode.
It might have been.
I
Crap whiskey.
remember both of you guys were like, bah! So okay, all right.
It
So
was
you're going
bad.
Black Maple Hill,
Oregon rye.
Oregon Rye. All right. I'm gonna go a similar direction,
Mhm.
but in this case,
Not the
I'm a
Jesus
little
route.
I'm a little upset with
You're gonna
you,
hate your
Cole,
enemy.
because if you haven't listened to our last drink along, you'll understand why Cole is not on my nice list.
Mhm.
Cole was saying some things about my mother,
That's right. I said your
and you
mom
know what,
like
Cole?
twice.
So you're like and it was pretty out there too. You were a little
Yeah.
brazen.
Yeah, it was. By accident, too.
You are my sworn enemy now, Cole. And you know what I'm going to give
Oh.
you? Not Black Maple Hill. I'm giving you Long Branch because it tastes like
Ooh.
sweat towels.
Yeah.
Sweat towels, sweaty
We
socks.
might sweaty rags. Yeah.
Sweaty
we
rags,
might
that's what it was.
we might need to revisit that because people are like, I got nothing like sweaty rags. Maybe it was the glass I was drinking out of or something like that. But maybe one day
You
we'll
had a
do a repeat.
sweaty rag glass hole.
But it was terrible. Yeah, sweaty rag glass hole.
Okay. If it was me and I was my own worst enemy, lit reference, I would give myself Pendleton.
Nice.
But I'm giving Cole for being a jerk during the drink along.
I'm sorry.
Long Branch. Yeah.
That's good.
Well, you know, Cole, I hope we can figure out what we're drinking next week. Do we know what we're going to drink next week?
I'm gonna pull out my phone and I'm gonna read really two quick options.
Okay.
And I want to go back in the archives. So I'm
Going
gonna go
back in the
between
archives.
Triple Sun,
Okay.
straight bourbon, and Silverback corn whiskey. Both micro distilleries in some people's eyes, and both kind of simple options.
Micro in the distilleries, macro in our heart.
Darn right. So keep an eye out this week, coming week, and we will post that probably on Two Pick Tuesday. If not, maybe what whiskey would you choose Wednesday? But otherwise, I hope all of our listeners vote on it this week and find out what they get to drink the next week.
I hope you guys don't get COVID and you guys get to do your trip and not have to worry about it.
Yeah, I hope you guys stay safe and get to go to Cancun. But I also hope you don't get to go to Cancun so that you can Cancun, so that you can come to Virginia. But most of all, listeners and Robbie, I'll let Robbie take this one.
I hope that Cole's dad realizes he gives his girls Valentine's and a trip, and now he needs to give Cole about 30 some years worth of Valentine's. But most of all, listeners, we hope our love of spirits lifted yours. Yeah, I was like, oh man, I'm a cute guy. I'm a cutie.